Okay, good morning. It's Wednesday, October 26th at 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So, I just did a 12-minute video and I reviewed it. I didn't like it because I just didn't have a good feeling about it. And I think that's something to pay attention to. You want to pay attention to your feelings, and that's what this whole thing is about. It's all about feelings here. Yeah, trying to feel what's going to happen. And that's what these balance areas are for. They're to help. They're to help decide what you want to do next. Well, that's what this thing is doing. It's building up energy and it's deciding what to do next. And it broke out, so it's going in that direction. It could have gone down this way, but this is what it did. So where we're at, market's going up. We talked about this yesterday. Everything looks good. Just want to point out that sometimes these markets will go back down before they go up again, and some people get freaked out. They get out. So these balance areas, they're like a foundation. Doesn't mean that it's something that you have to stick to, where it's so exact that if it breaks down here, that you get out. Here's a good example. Go to the Dow. Okay, so you see the Dow actually broke out, and it came back down to this area, and it stayed here for a little while. Then it went back up. So what that means is that this balance area is great because it tells us a lot. That's what it did. It built up all this energy and it went up. But it could come down in here and even sometimes halfway down. I've seen it before it breaks off. And this is where the feeling part comes in. You have to kind of feel this market. 90% of people lose money in trading. And the reason for that is because they're paying attention to things outside. That's why people have all these indicators, different colors, and these lines, and all kinds of stuff to distract them. And you can't really pay attention to your feelings, and that's everything. I mean, it's like 90 or 95% of trading this market is feeling. And so I have to have it real quiet, meaning it can't have a lot of noise in here, a lot of different colors, red and green, and indicators down here, and numbers flashing. Otherwise, I can't listen to what's actually happening here. And so that's my way of trading. So what's happening here? Market's taken off. If you kind of disregard this for a second, and you look at this line, this market's gone straight up. It hasn't really done that anywhere around here. So what's that mean? It means that there's a lot of power that was generated here, and it's taken off. So eventually it's going to turn around. And when it does, it's going to either go into a balance area and continue up, or it's going to go into a balance area and start going down. We're not going to know that until it gets to that point, and then we can really feel what's going on like we did in here. When I was in here, I felt very strong feeling that this market was going to go up. And that's why I got into a position here. Could have been wrong, but that was my strong feeling, and that's what happened. Okay, so let's go back to the ES. Okay, so we're here. Market's going up. There's not a lot to do. Added some positions here. I bought down here. Doesn't mean that you should do that. You could buy down here too, and you can actually sell. And you made a pretty good profit right here. Or you can continue up. You don't have to look for a top, and that's what people do. They're looking for that top, or they're looking for that bottom. This bottom's was pretty much established in here because it came down, it hit, went back up, came down, pretty much made a bottom here. And I had a feeling that it was going to come back up at least one more time. And that's what happened, especially after this spike. It came back up. So I was pretty much 99% sure it was going to go in that direction. And of course, if I was wrong and it went down, I would have got out. So here we are right here, and it looks pretty good. How far is it going to go? I'm not sure, but you know, as you look at these markets, you keep one thing in mind here, that as it's going up, it comes down. It goes up, it comes down. So you got buyers, you got sellers. You got buyers, you got sellers. You got buyers on a short time frame. When I bought here, the market came back down. People were selling, and it gathered up a little steam in here, and now it's going up. So this is where I pay attention to this. A lot of energy was generated here, and like I said before, the longer this thing gets, the more stretched out, whatever direction it goes in, it's going to go in a pretty big way. And that's what it's doing. And you saw the Dow chart. It's taken off big. So this is a good sign. It's going up. There's really nothing else to do but just wait. You know, like I said, depends on what kind of trader you are. If it reaches another little balance area and you want to get in there, you can do that. But I wouldn't do that for now. As a beginner, I would definitely either wait. Maybe, like I said, if you want to get out here and you've collected profit here, not a bad thing. Just wait for another balance area and get in. It's a very conservative way of trading, and that's actually probably the best way to trade at the beginning, because when you start taking losses, that can be pretty upsetting, and eventually you're going to want to make up for those losses, and then you're going to lose everything. And that's happened to me for a lot, and I didn't really start getting this until years later. So anyway, here we are. Everything looks on track here. I feel very good about this. I don't feel like this market's just going to turn around and dump, even though that might happen, but so far that's not my feeling. So the interesting part about this, you know, getting in is one thing, because, you know, got in down here only because it really established a solid foundation, solid bottom, a solid support line, and then it came up and then it broke out. So this is all a very good sign here, and I feel very confident. But now here's a trick. The trick is getting out, and that's where a lot of people fail too. You know, getting in is one thing, but getting out, it's like, where do you get out? If you already have a profit here, like I said earlier, you can get out and walk away, and there's nothing wrong with that. But see, what happens is people get out, they walk away, and then they come back and they see, oh, the market's up here, I could have stayed in. You don't want to do that. You definitely do not want to do that and say I could have, because finding a top is not easy. I mean, it's not easy even for me to find a top, and I'm not looking for a top. I'm just feeling the market as it's moving, and you can see this, it just keeps climbing. So that's a good sign. And again, you've got a lot of energy here. It's like a rocket launching pad, and it's just pushing this up. And so getting out at this point, I can't tell you. I can't tell you when I'm going to get into another position if I do. And I can't tell you when I'm going to get out, because it's just too early for that. It's all feeling, and that's what I'm doing at this point. So as it stands right now, it's looking really good. I've got a couple positions in here, and that's all I can tell you. I don't know what's going to happen in the next hour or two. At the end of the day, I don't know. But another good thing is I put in, I call alerts. So this alert, if I decide to take off, go to the gym, go for a run, go for a hike, or whatever, I have my phone with me. And as this market, for some reason, turns around and goes down, it's going to alert me. And at that point, I'm going to have to feel what's going on. Because sometimes there's market reports that come out. I don't think there's anything today, but and it just drives it down. If that does happen, it drives it down, just like here. I think the Feds are talking about interest rates, and it went down, but it turned around and came back up, because it's usually when that happens, when the markets go down because of news, it always turns around and goes back up. Like 99% of the time. That's what it did here. Pretty good fake out. A lot of people got out here. They got scared and got back in. So, not an easy game. It's something that you have to. That's why you have to ignore the news and all the chatter that goes on. That's why this thing is very basic. I only have one color here. I have my balance areas, no indicators. The best indicator I have is my intuition and my feeling. And it's worked for me for, a long time. Been doing this for 22, 23 years, so. Okay, that's it for now. So we'll talk again.